All right. It's the 30th. It is one more day until we are done with July. Kind of amazing, isn't it? It's 6 months. Let's see, if you're January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Actually, 7 months. Wow. That's incredible. So tonight, I'm trying to check in on some of my friends, JB808. Hey, hi, love it. Hello. I'm trying to check in on JB808, who's in Hawaii. Hi, Marco Loca, Marloca. Stiffmeister Joker, hello. And Dave Gibbins is in Australia, and they just said on the news they may be affected. So that I'm checking on that. And Sophie's in New Zealand, so I want to check on her and see how she's doing, and anybody else who might be affected by this. It was pretty spooky for us because it just was. I think it was spooky for anybody because it's one of those things. It's like here in LA, I've always said, like our national disasters are when everybody comes together because we all have something in common. North Carolina here, checking in. All right. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. That's a pretty area from what I understand. Tsunami warnings are over. That I know. I saw some footage of where it hit in Russia. Okay, and Hokkaido. All right. Hi, Moon and Stars. How are you? Everyone is doing well. I'm just trying to find JB808 mainly because he's over in Hawaii, and here we've had kind of bad. It wasn't bad, but it was scary. They had to evacuate and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure he's okay. And Dave, I think you're right. The warnings are over, but it's because I haven't heard from these guys. I got to find out. So my son tonight, the oldest restaurant in Los Angeles is called Cole's. And my son found out about that and went down there tonight. Yeah, he may have evacuated. I know he may have. I hope, I just want to wish him well and let him know that we're all here for him. I hope he comes on. I really do. Because I hope he's okay. I think he is. They didn't really sound like there was a lot of damage in Hawaii. They said it was about 5 feet. The water got up to that height, which I know from being in Chicago. Let's all say a prayer that he's okay. Exactly. Thank you. That's a good idea. I don't have his email. That's the thing. I don't. I've been trying to poke around and find how to find him, and I really don't have a contact thing. I really should get one for all of you guys because I realize I don't. I have your phone number, love it. I know how to contact Sophie, but like Moon and Stars, I don't know if any of you could send me your whatever contact you want, I would appreciate it because I just want to always be able to get in touch with you. Has he emailed you, but maybe you haven't seen it? That could be it. I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I can look though really quick, but I kind of don't think so. Come on. All right, let me look really quick. Email. Did you see that Aaron got arrested? Did all of you see that? Let's see, JB808. Yeah, I don't think so. He's probably busy. Whatever he's having to do, he's probably busy with that. Yeah, I don't see it. Love it. But I'll look farther later. I don't want to keep all of your time looking for it. I know he's out, and we don't think it's going to be that big a deal. They tried to pin a criminal conviction on me with the injunction, and you just have to pay attention. That's all there is to it. They would, if I hadn't paid attention, my attorney was not paying attention for me, and if I hadn't paid attention, I would have had a criminal conviction, and that is for the rest of your life. There's no getting out of it. And I'm in sales, and I found out when I came back, sales here in LA now, they do these group things where they go, does anybody in here have a criminal conviction? And if you raise your hand, there's the door. That's it. There's no discussion, nothing. So they figured my ex-husband would kick me out, and then I wouldn't be able to get a job because of that. And then I'd be out on the street. And I know them, so that's why I paid attention. Do you see what I mean? I saw, in my opinion, he might have deserved that arrest. Yeah. I know it was kind of not the smartest move, I don't think. I really don't. Supporting Scientology corrupt use of police resources. Well, I agree with Moon and Stars. I don't think he should have been arrested, but I really want him to do, kind of work along so that, because he's been being very successful at this protesting. I love the thing with Tom Cruise and, Tom Cruise, who's actually quite short, but Tom Cruise and then DM is like from here down. It's really funny. You can't say, come on, let's play, then say you didn't do anything. Don't use fighting words and you should be okay. True. Very true. Yeah. Anyway, onward and upward. I don't want to spend all night talking about Aaron. I just wanted to mention if you'd seen it or not. Did any of you have anything that affected you as far as the tsunami? Last night, Jessica went to Long Beach and was doing a video about it. And I was just like, I finally looked it up in Google and said, all right, for LA, for Southern California, if this tsunami is going to hit, when will it? Because we had no idea, and it was about 1 a.m. And Google said at 4 a.m. it will hit the LA area, if it does. And so I posted that, and she said, okay, that's it. She said, I'm going home. I don't support them at all, just stating facts. Got to be smart when you play with them. Yeah, it's true. You do. You definitely do. And they play a long game. They do. So you have to know that and realize, you can do certain things, but they're tricky. I mean, my injunction thing was ridiculous. I mean, do you guys all know about the injunction thing that happened with me and 15 other people? Let's see. Okay, so we got Moon and Stars. Love it. And me. And Stiffmeister Joker. All right, from North Carolina. Wow. And Marloka. There you are. Marloka, where are you from? Can you tell us or not? You don't have to, but if you can, that's always fun to know where you are. Opinions aren't facts. Aaron does great work. It's hard to live up to the perfection that is expected. Sophie is cooking dinner. Oh, good, but she's okay. Okay, just tell her I said hi. And I'm happy she's cooking dinner. That's good. That's very good. Because they just said it on the news that it might be something that they weren't sure if New Zealand had anything coming. Hi, Lauren. Nice hearts. Very nice. Like that. I'm a hard person. I guess I have upset Love It, so I'm going to call it a night. I think my intentions have always been clear. No, don't leave. Moon and Stars, don't leave. Honestly, this is my site. It's not her site. And it's like, it's fine. I agree with you. Don't leave. Hi, Eric. And all the love from Culver City, California. My parents say hi. All right. A friend in French Polynesia also got a tsunami warning. Ooh, wow. I know it's been kind of amazing, hasn't it, how far and wide it's spread. But I have a globe that Drew gave me for Christmas, and it's been really interesting to be able to see. It's a really big globe, and it lights up at night, and you can really see where it's going. Okay, good. You haven't upset me. I will disagree when I disagree. Okay, so you both disagree. There you go. That's fine, but don't leave, love it, or Moon and Stars. Don't. Moon and Stars. And also, can you please send me some kind of contact information, each one of you, so that you know my. I guess the. This is the best thing to do. Is to just use that phone number and text me there, whatever your contact information is, because then I'll get it. I'll get it right away. And that really helps me. And then I can keep track of you guys, because I didn't like it not being able to contact JB808 at all, or even send a text or anything. I realized that I have nothing, and I kept poking around the internet. I couldn't find anything. I found something where they said, JB808, are you a rock star? Or are you, into music or something like that? I don't know. They had some kind of a thing on it. It was really funny. I think he made a comment on my brother's music. And so someone from that was another thing. This weekend, my brother is at the Azoro Festival. Hi, Mark. And that's in Hungary. And he's gone there for years, and it's always been wonderful, happy, everybody, music, everybody doing great. And this trip, 3 of the big stores blew up, and my brother got it on video. It was really, you can look at David Christman if you're on Facebook, and it shows the pictures of it. It's like, wow. So hopefully the concert went on. Luckily, nobody got hurt. So that's the good thing of it. The traffic was apparently crazy. Yeah, I know that. I saw that it was like bumper to bumper. And hopefully he either stayed home or is in a safe place somewhere. And JB808, if you hear this afterwards, we send our love. I've really been worried about him, though. I have, just because I can't get in touch with him. It's like if I knew something happened to Moon and Stars, I would want to be able to get in touch with her. And I can't. I don't know how to do that. Eric, I know how to get in touch with, and Love It, and Sophie. That's it. Those are my 3 people on this site. And everybody else, if you will, send me your contact information. And then I can always contact you. So, Eric, how are you doing? Okay, question. When you were a hippie in the 60s and 70s, did you meet any musicians? Oh, God, yeah. I mean, the beginning thing for me, wait, I forgot to take this off. Hang on just a second. Sorry. There. The beginning thing for me was we moved from New York to San Francisco with the Summer of Love. And I thought, well, I think I'll go over to a bar and just see if anything's happening there. And I went over, and there was Janis Joplin singing by herself. She was just wailing away. I mean, it was incredible. And so I went a bunch of nights to see her this is before she really became big. And it was like, but yeah, I met quite a few. I met Gracie Slick there, and she was part of the Jefferson Airplane. I don't know if you've ever even heard of him, but anyway, they were pretty big back then. And I met her here at the Egyptian quite a few years ago, but, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm not sure. But it was really fun to see her. It really was. Sophie said to let you know they're all safe. Okay, good. I'm really happy to hear that. I am. So, yeah, I met a bunch of different bands and different musicians, and that was also a high attraction for Scientology, believe it or not. Hi, I am who you say I am. I'm doing great. I am. Thank you. That was a big attraction for me with Scientology, not to begin with, because I wanted to be an auditor, I told you, and that's why I joined. But once Celebrity Center came, all these musicians came, and it was just so much fun to hang out with them. It really was. To this day, I'm friends with a lot of them. It's really cool. Yep, I'm doing good. I am who you say I am. I hope you're doing good too. I'm a little bit concerned about JB808. Love it. Do you, by any chance, have any contact with him? Do you know his contact information? If anybody does, I thought about it, calling you guys and asking you, but then I thought, well, I don't know if you do. I hope you're doing great. Thank you. Hey, Professor Kakan, there you are. Hello. Good evening. I'm trying to find out if JB808 is okay and anybody else who was affected by the tsunami. I'm great. Thank you, Tori. It's a lovely night and a while back. I don't have his info. Oh, okay. So you did a while back, but you don't now. Well, hopefully he's okay. I really hope so. I think so, because they sounded like there was no injuries or anything in Hawaii. It was just a big hassle for everybody. But that sounds like what it was. So hopefully he's okay. I know that JB emailed you something from me a while back. Oh, I don't have his info. Okay, well, I'll try to poke around after we hang up and see. Hey, Sophie. Hi, chat. I see love it. Passed on my message. Yes, thank you. We're safe down here. That's good to know. In fact, knowing us Kiwis, some surfers will probably be out there. We have some serious big wave surfers here. Wow. That's spooky because tsunamis are, it can be like huge. No one got hurt in Hawaii. Yeah, that's what I thought. The evacuation was tough because of traffic, but all safe there. Yeah, and that's one thing that they were mentioning on the news. It's almost like a practice run for any future ones, because you can kind of see where the snags are. Things that, we didn't think of that, like how everybody has to evacuate, but they don't have it really set up, obviously. Good, Professor Kakan. Good to know. You missed my reply. I did? I'm sorry, Eric. Let's see. Here's Sophie. Love it. I am who you say I am. Oh, I just bought a new phone, a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. I have to set it up. I have the same number and didn't change it, so we're good. Okay, good. Wonderful. That's nice. Was that part of a package or something like that, where you because now they're giving away these phones they have for a long time, but then you're kind of hooked into doing paying them for quite a while. Anyway, thank you for letting me know that I missed your reply. And now I got it. And you got a new phone, so that's good. Y2 Watcher. All right, happy Wednesday into Thursday, Tori. That is very true. Tonight's garbage day for us out here. It's great to see you. It's a long day for me, just winding down. Wow, now I wonder why it's a long day for you today. Is there any specific reason? I'm outside looking at the meteor shower. Wow. I might miss a few messages. Ooh, love it. Nice. That sounds wonderful. That's right. You're in an area where you'll see, we have so much light here. Forget it. We wouldn't be able to see it. But good luck. Enjoy it. If you can, take pictures. But I know Tony Ortega can take pictures of stars, and he gets fabulous photographs. But I think you really need a special camera to be able to capture it. I have T-Mobile. So did my parents. I do too. I have the back end of T-Mobile. It's called Metro PCS, and it's connected to T-Mobile. Y2 Watcher, yeah. That's nifty. Love it that you can see the meteor shower. I'm island of 500 feet elevation. Really? Wow. It's a long day because I was working late. Okay, trying to catch up on work before I take next week off. Ooh, nice. Are you going to go anywhere, do anything? What's the plan for next week? My better phone isn't charged, so I can't see pictures. I got you. You can't get pictures. Malevolent Queen. Hi, Tori. I finally made it live. Woohoo! Good for you. Good for you. Quick summary, please. Quick summary. Who are you talking to, Professor Kirkan? And a summary about what? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. Oh, of the injunction. Okay, a quick summary. There's the Lisa McPherson Trust, which was in Clearwater, Florida. And that was run by Stacy, Bob, and Jesse. And they decided, they helped me get out in 2000. And I think it was in 2001, we were going to have a candlelight vigil for Lisa. It might have been in 2000. Bunker will know. But anyway, we did. He said, we want you to come back. We're going to do this candlelight vigil for Lisa. So I said, okay. So I went back and we did the candlelight vigil. But as we're walking up in the day before the candlelight vigil, these people walk up and go, you've been served. You've been served. You've been served. They served 15 different people. And so I said, a lot of them were critics who'd never been in Scientology. And so I just gave a little talk and I said, look, I was 12 minutes behind, now caught up. Okay. Do you want me to do the summary or not? Y2 Watcher, I'm off for the state fair. Ooh, how fun. But also plan to also complete some day trips and other random stuff, but generally enjoy the summer weather as long as it's not too hot and humid. Yeah, it's been really beautiful here. Rest in peace, Lisa McPherson. Amen on that. So, okay, so to finish the summary, so we're doing the injunction, we get the thing and they serve all of us. And so the kids, at the bottom of the injunction, it said, because there were 15 people listed. At the bottom, it says anyone who has anything to do with these 15 people is also part of this injunction. Okay, so the kids all go, screw that. We don't care. We're going to do what we want. And they had very specific rules that you had to follow. 3 of them. You had to walk across the street from their buildings. You couldn't block a door. You couldn't block a driveway. So I said, look, just pay attention and follow the rules, and then you won't have any trouble. Because believe me, these guys will try to snag you and get you arrested. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from in my head. Now we do the candlelight vigil. It's all very beautiful. I fly home. The doorbell rings, and this girl goes, "Are you Tori?" And I go, "I am." And she goes, "You've been served." And she serves me this thing saying, "You violated the injunction. You're ordered back to Clearwater, blah, blah, blah." So now we go back, and I say to Bob, look, I'm going to tell you something. The main 2 people they want are you because of your money, because he had millions of dollars and was paying for the Lisa McPherson Trust, and me because I know these top secret things they don't want known. The rest of these people are sort of like window dressing to make it look like they're not just picking on the 2 of us. And that's exactly what happened. They kind of let each person go. And finally, it was 2 days with Bob, 2 days with me. And for me, I realized my attorney doesn't care about me at all. He was basically after Bob, because Bob was the money guy, right? And it wasn't looking good. And so I said, look, we have to, find, I didn't do anything wrong, but it said, anyway, it's too long to explain, but it said I violated all three things. So the one, I know they spliced the film, so it made it look like I was walking on the wrong side of the street with a picket sign on a day when I wasn't. So there was that. So they said, okay, you're guilty of that. Whatever. I can't prove that they spliced it, but I know they did because I talked to the cop. And I said, how do I get from the Lisa McPherson Trust a flag? And she said, just hold your sign down. So I did. But they already had an earlier one of me. Okay, so there's one. The second one, a lady comes up to me and she goes, why are you protesting? And so I explained it to her. And she goes, okay, thank you. And she walks off. Now, part of the second, and the thing that's a criminal conviction for Tori Christman is that I blocked a driveway, right? Which was that late. I realized, okay, great. That was a Scientologist came up just to try to snag me. And there you go. And the third one was they had a red Santa's chair out in front of the main intersection of Clearwater. And they had that big bank building where they all eat. And outside of it, they had a red Santa's chair. And the door, that is the door to go in there, was all covered with all kinds of stuff. It was Christmas time. So they had it all completely covered. So you couldn't see it was a door, right? And there's the red Santa's chair. And I'm with Ida Cameron, who was an 85-year-old critic whose son had been in Scientology for years and wouldn't talk to her. So I said, hey, Ida, do you want a picture of you in the red Santa's chair? And she goes, yeah, sure. And she sits down and I take the picture. And she goes, do you want a picture of you in the red Santa's chair? And I said, yeah, sure. So I sit down and all of a sudden it's lights, camera, security guards, everything. They're all screaming at me. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, say another word and we're going to go to the Attorney General's office. That's it. And luckily, thank God, Bob Minton heard this ruckus and came running down the street, said, get your hands off her, and took me and put me in the Lisa McPherson Trust, which was behind that big building. So anyway, now I'm in the courtroom, and the red Santa's chair was laughed out of court. It was just like a joke. It's like, come on, this isn't a criminal. This isn't a crime. Me walking down the wrong side of the street, like I said, they spliced the film. I know because you heard me say to these guys, follow the rules. So I know I was trying to. So anyway, so they said, okay, that's a violation number one. If you have one more, you have a criminal conviction. And a criminal conviction is for the rest of your life. And I realized, I know these guys play hardball. I know them. So I thought, okay, I said to my attorney, who could care less about me? He was busy with Bob Minton. And I said, look, you get me every single video you have, and I'm going to stay up all night. I'm going to find something to prove that I didn't do this. And I stayed up all night, and all of a sudden, about 4 a.m, boom. Yeah, Bunker was there, of course. Yeah. So all of a sudden, but the other three started the Lisa McPherson Trust. He was there filming. Bunker was a big help, but they were trying to nail him too. So I forgot what I was just saying because it was really important. What is it? Don't do that, Eric. Let me finish a sentence and then ask. But you probably thought I did. Anyway, I have a difficulty with that when I get in the middle of something, but I'll remember it. I was in the courtroom and, I said, get all the videotapes. I'm going to stay up all night and watch them. And all of a sudden, at about 3, 4 a.m, boom, in came a UPS truck driving right through. And you could see me standing there talking to the lady, and the UPS truck drove right through. I thought, that's it. So I told the attorney the next day, I said, I got it. I found it. It's a UPS truck. And he goes, okay. And now I'm up And for 2 days, they're grilling me and this and that and all this stuff. And I'm not happy. And finally, I say to the attorney, look, show him the video with the UPS truck. And he doesn't say anything. And I've been up with Scientology in courtrooms for years, and I just stand up. If I need to say something, I just stand up. I go, Your Honor, I have to say something. And they always let me. So I said, Your Honor, I've got to say something. And he goes, oh, she goes, or he goes, all right, stand up. And he goes, what's up? And I said, look, we have a video showing that I didn't block that driveway. And that's the final straw on me. You know, if I can't prove it, I have a criminal conviction. If I can prove it that I didn't block it, I'm free. And he goes, all right, let's put the video in. And then we play the video, and there you go. The UPS truck drives on through, and the last sentence they said in that entire thing, which was 3 or 4 days long, the Scientology attorney said, what about Tori Crispin and blocking the driveway? And the judge looked down and he said, I think the UPS truck proved that that was not true. She did not block the driveway. And I was like, yes. So anyway, that was the injunction in a nutshell. But they went in, and for Bunker and I, they made it a permanent injunction for the rest of our lives. Crazy. So, and part of the injunction is you can't be 10 feet from a Scientologist. And I said, that's not fair. I mean, do they have signs saying I'm a Scientologist? No, they don't. Tori, you were saying about going through to find that you didn't violate any laws. Okay. All right. Thank you. The level of harassment Tori and the critics from the early OOs had to deal with was a whole different level. It really was. It really was. It was amazing because they had hired, I told you guys this, but they hired 3 people, 2 ladies and a man, and they were paying them to write lies about me. And then the critics would buy into it because they didn't know me. And it was rough. It really was. It was like 24/7, 365 days a year. They were writing lies about me. And I'd try to, correct it. And they'd just come up with more shit. And finally, luckily, Jesse started really saving my ass when I called him and I said, Jesse, I'm going nuts. This is awful. And they goes, that's the intention. It's called psychological warfare. They're trying to drive you insane. And he said, listen to me carefully. Step away from the stove. And I had that on a little sticker for years on my computer. Step away from the stove. Just get away. There's nothing they can do if you stop doing that. But thank you, Sophie, for mentioning that. Y2 Watcher. That's terrible that you had to figure out the proof of your innocence. I know, but that happens often in court cases. I know it really was awful. But you know what? It showed if you pay attention, it's like with the medical industry. I think here in America, we don't really have, a lot of times you have to watch out for your back. You have to make sure that what's happening is what's needed. You know what I mean? So it was the same for that, and I knew Scientology. I knew how sleazy they are. And I thought, no. And I didn't realize till I got home that my husband was planning on kicking me out of this house. So I would have been out of a home with my business that I do is sales. And now in LA, they have group interviews where they go, is there anyone in the room that has a criminal conviction? And if you raise your hand, they go, get out. And that's it. You can't, people go, wait, I want to tell you. No, you got a criminal conviction. That's it. So they figured I'd be homeless and jobless and out on the street. And there you go. Oh, so you screwed up again. They're still bad now, but more covert and sneaky. Yep. First time in a very long time I catch you live. Hey, hi, Acer211. Good. I'm glad you caught us. And thank you, Y2 Watcher, for getting that. It is creepy. It really is. It was really creepy for me. But one of the fun things in the thing, they had like 10 attorneys and OSA and all this stuff on their side. We had one attorney, right? And so they start bringing up my husband. And I just didn't want him to be dragged into this thing. He had nothing to do with it. He'd never been part of it. He knew nothing about it. And I knew he was still in Scientology. That was his choice. And so they said, we're going to bring up Harold Bazazian. And I looked at the judge and I said, Your Honor, you can bring up my husband. If you bring my husband in here, here's the deal. We get to depose every single OTA. That's the deal. You want him in here? We get to depose every one of them. And I thought, bingo. I knew they wouldn't want that. And the judge didn't either. The judge went, could all the attorneys come up here, please? And he leans over and he goes, I think this is a personal issue for her. Why don't we just leave her husband out of it? I was like, yes. It was kind of fun. Professor Kakan, like Napoleonic Code in France, the accused had the burden to prove their innocence. Ugh. Yeah, that's how I felt. It was. You had to prove your innocence. And that's why I said, get me every video, everyone. If I have to stay up all night, I'll find it. And I did. When I saw that UPS truck, I was like, oh, thank God. Because can you imagine that? Over those stupid things that supposedly I did, I'd have a criminal conviction for the rest of my life. I mean, it's just unbelievable the shit these people will do. I mean, that's really, and then to go back in afterwards, after we win, and go back in and make it permanent for Bunker and me. What was that about? It's like, whatever. Bunker doesn't care. He said, screw him. Hi, 49ers for life. How are you? I'm good. I'm trying to find out if JB808 is okay in Hawaii. If you have a connection to him, let me know. Sieglin, hi. I still believe that what is kicking Scientologists are so bad is the fact that L. Ron Hubbard stuck the movement so far back in the past and could never change from there. Yet times keep changing. Okay. And Sophie says, Professor sounds like the entire legal system. I don't know what that means, Sophie. You mean the Professor Kakan sounds like the entire legal system? Oh, because of the Napoleonic Code. Oh, I see. That's what he said sounds like that. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, Sieglin, that's debatable. I don't know. I mean, Tori and the Magoos. Hi, No Face. Yeah, that's kind of debatable. I think you're probably right because he's stuck with the keeping Scientology working. But Miscavige has changed a ton of stuff, which is a violation of keeping Scientology working. So if he can change some stuff, he can change other stuff. It's just I think, frankly, they don't really even do auditing anymore. Do you guys know that? And I think they don't because so many people were suing him. And he probably thought, you know what, screw all these people. We're not even going to do auditing. We'll just buy buildings and sell them. Or, buy buildings, real estate, make money that way. They can't sue him that way. I'm happy that the judge let you go and they knew your truth. Well, he didn't let me go. He listened to me. That's what happened. And they were counting on him not listening to me. And he did. But I'm a ballsy person. When my ass is on the line, you better believe it. So is theirs. And that's what I wanted the judge to know. You want to put my ass on the line and my husband's? Then their asses are going to be on the line. And that's all the OT8s deposed. And I knew none of them would want that. And it was like, no, okay, that's it. It's very confusing, Tori. Which part is very confusing? Sieglin, which part is confusing? Hi, No Face. Good to see you again today. 49ers for life. LRH screwed up when he added so much sci-fi. Yeah, I think he screwed up with that and all the negative stuff. Fair game and declaring people suppressive and all that stuff. I mean, I've said it a million times. If they would just get rid of all that shit, stop saying they're a religion because they're not. And Hubbard was against churches, God, Jesus, everything. So they're not a religion. They can say they are, and I know they have a religious status, but it's like, really, they would be so much better being just a self-improvement group, and just instead of doing the whole bridge, cut out all the OT levels and just do the lower bridge and decrease the price so it's not so expensive. And I think they'd be very popular. I do. I really do. It'd be simple. It wouldn't make them as much money, and they're so greedy they're never going to do it. But that's a way they could. Yeah, he did. The sci-fi thing didn't help. I mean, it's definitely funny now. It's a lot of comedy now. This is an honest question. In 50 years, where are they exactly? That's a very good point. 50 years. That's right. They started in 1950. Let's see, 1950 to 2000 is 50 years. So I think it's 75 years, isn't it? Because they started in 1950. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. So that's 50, 60, 70. It's 75 years. Yeah, it's 75 years they've been going. And where are they? Empty. I always tell people, they go, well, they're expanding. And I go, really? And that's based on what? And they go, well, look at all the buildings they have. And I go, and have you ever looked in any of those buildings? And most people say no. And I say, okay, well, next time you go by them, go look inside, because this is how many people are in there. That's it. It's empty. They have nothing. They've gotten rid of all of us, and they've got critics around the world that are going, not okay to do the stuff that you're doing. And, I don't know what Miscavige is doing. I really don't. And it's, you think, what is he planning? What's his plan? It's not, at least Hubbard really, I think, I mean, I know he said, if you want to make money, start a religion. But I know from my mother-in-law and father-in-law and their stories of being with Hubbard in 1950, he was a funny guy. And, they felt like he really believed in what he was doing with Dianetics. It went off the rails with Scientology. That's what I think. Okay, what's confusing is that it was all locked in to the LRH genius at one point, and now they have switched their loyalty over to some average person. Now that is very confusing. You're right. And it's true, because that was back in the day, that was the big thing. Hubbard was this brilliant guy, and he was out on the ship, so we never saw him. You know what I mean? So it was easy to just make up shit for them, I'm sure, because we never saw who he was, at all. And for every season, turn. That's a good point. Thank you, Sieglin. That's a good point. Van Cunningham, Tales of a Hyperkinetic Life. Wow. Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, was the only decent sci-fi LRH ever wrote. It was 75 years. It is 75 years. I was born in 1950. Wow. All right. Well, congratulations. Yeah, I know. It's really fun to hear I mean, they've passed on now, but when they used to tell us stories, it was so funny. Do you want to hear one? This is one of my favorite stories. In Dianetics, Hubbard had a thing called the repeater technique, because most people will say something over and over and over. So his view was, make them repeat it over and over and over, and it'll put them into the incident of whatever created that command that they keep saying. Okay, so my mother-in-law tells me this story about because they would have people over to their house. JB808, there you are. All right. Okay. I've been worried about you for days because of this tsunami thing. So you're all okay? Let me just take a break and just check with JB808. So you're okay, or did you have to move out, or what happened? I don't think you had to move out because they said they had to evacuate, and then they said, "See, Glenn, I see what you're saying, but I'd add that DM is a direct product of LRH's teaching. It's rotten from LRH first." Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Um, so JB808, fill us in. Was it okay? Okay. Oh, thank you. We're okay. It hardly rained on the island. Wow. That I did not know. I heard that there was like 5 feet of water. And I didn't know where you were, and I don't have any way to contact you. So can you? This was the thing I asked people earlier. I want you to do it. Wait. Ooh, what did I do? Okay, here it is. Here's my text number. Ooh, what happened to it? Damn it. Here it is. How come it's not coming up? Okay, I don't know what happened. There's that. That's not it. How weird. Okay. I'm gonna get out of this. No, I don't want that. And I don't want that. Ah, shoot. Anyway, JB808, email me or text me some way to contact you. Because I realized during this, and my phone number for texting is 818-564-8869. It's on the site somewhere, but I don't know why now it won't come up. I totally get it, Sophie. I feel the same way. Yeah, me too. Are you able to receive texts on that number? Yeah, I am. On the one that yeah, it's the Zelle number. It says Zelle, but that's my cell phone number. So 818-564-8869. Yeah. But if you can either send me that or the email, Tori Crispin 44, and just give me some kind of contact thing. I was all over the internet looking for you, and I found you. I don't know if you posted on my brother's music site, but someone said JB808. Wow, that's a cool. Yeah, that must be a music machine or something like that. It was really funny. Got it saved to my contacts. Okay, good. So yeah, definitely let me know though, because I was really concerned about you. I was like, oh, I hope he's okay. And then I found out about Sophie. It turns out she's fine too. Don't worry about it. And Dave Gibbins, I don't know as far as Australia, but I think they're okay. But on the news, they said those guys are all, affected. So anyway, it's tricky, very tricky. Yeah, we were talking about L. Ron Hubbard and the difference and just how screwed up it is. Are you able to receive text on that number? I am. Yes. Off topic. Okay, here's something. Y2 Watchers. Did you ever talk to Paulette Cooper? I did. Yeah, I had dinner with her and lunch, and we went out thrift shopping. She's a big thrift store shopper. She's a lot of fun. She really is. When did you first hear her story after you left Scientology? Just curious what you thought about her story of being harassed and abused. It's like anything, it's awful. I mean, her story is probably the worst. I mean, except for the kids who've unalived themselves, which to me is the worst. And I originally knew 4, and now I know 17. That's just way too many. But hers is, as far as abuse and people, picking on her, unbelievable. But she's the odd thing is, that, I don't know, somehow for me, she always seemed like a really big person, Paulette Cooper. But then I met her, and she's a little tiny person. She's very petite, and she's a lot of fun. It was really great to see her. I mean, of course, her whole story of being harassed and abused was awful. But I didn't know about it when I was in. I think I'd heard her name, but I didn't know anything about it. They try to keep all that stuff off people's lines so they don't know. I totally get it, Sophie. I feel the same. Okay, thanks. Here, JB808. Aloha, friends. So happy you're here. Yeah, me too. Love it. And JB808. So glad you're safe and sound. Yeah, me too. Got it. Saved to my contacts. Okay, good. Glad you're okay. Aloha, love it. Thank you. And thank you, Y2 watchers. All right. I'm really happy you're safe and sound too. I've been worrying about you like mad and trying to find you. Professor Kakan, thank you. I didn't know that the religious angle was started that far back. I missed what he said. Or if I comment. Ooh. Dad got involved in 1954, and everyone knew the religion angle was to keep the authorities away. Well, it was interesting. What happened, my mother and father-in-law started in 1950, and they were all into Dianetics, everybody, and they were co-auditing and stuff like that. And then in 54, he started the Scientology thing, and a lot of people left. And I think that's why he started the PTSSP, to kind of draw a line. Like, if you go over there and talk to those people that left, I'm going to have to declare you potential trouble source or an SP. And that's what I think. But they probably knew each other, Professor Kakan, the Bazazians and him. LRH mentions Flo and Paul Bazazian on the tapes. He says hello to Wing and Smokey Angel and Flo and Paul Bazazian. And that's them. And Flo wrote him and said, why did you say hello to us? Because there were a lot of people there. And he said, because you helped me keep Scientology alive in Chicago. So there you go on that. Are you able to, yeah, la. So glad you're safe. I know, we're really happy you came by too. Thank you. Yeah, the church was incorporated in 1954. But apparently a bunch of the Dianeticists all left. I said, we didn't get into this for religion. No. I give credit to the mods for keeping it clean. All right. I agree. And I greatly appreciate them. Thanks, Moon and Stars. So good to see you're okay. I know. Me too, Moon and Stars. I feel the same. I'm so happy you came by. I am who you say I am. So to my understanding, when you were in court, you were essentially asking to cross-examine the OT8s. If I have that correct, well played, Tori. Hilarious. They were probably so nervous. I know. I mean, there weren't that many OTA, so I think it was probably 1,000, maybe 800. I don't know how many there were, but it was a substantial number of people, and we would have been able to get a lot of information from them. And that's why I knew they wouldn't want it, and I was pretty sure the judge wouldn't want it either. It's just a lot of hassle that they didn't need. But I was like, if you're going to drag my husband into this, that's what's going down. And he went, okay, everybody come up here. I've been pretty good in court with a few things. I have. I am who you say I am. Sorry, that was a late question. I'm cleaning. Oh, okay. We love Tori and keep it real. Thank you. Yep, you guys are great. Moon and Stars. JB808, if you feel comfortable, please send your contact information to Tori. then she can reach out and make sure you're okay. Thank you, Moon and Stars. You Philly? No face? You Philly. Okay. Justice. Hello, Tori. Know that I'm always watching your videos. Love you. Thank you, Justice. I appreciate that. I've definitely made a few of them. And now with TikTok, it's out of control. Moon and Stars will do. Thank you. JB808, did you have to get into that traffic to evacuate? Yeah, that was my question. Did you have to do that, JB808? Hey Tori, what's your favorite color that you haven't found yet? I don't know. I love colors. I just do. My worst is, beige. I don't like a lot of people love beige, but not me. My favorite color that I haven't found yet, I don't know. I haven't found it yet. But I love purple. And any range of colors I like, as long as they're colorful. Tori, you can tell us more about how and why they made it a religion. To make money. Remember, LRH said, if you want to make money, start a religion. So I think I don't know much more than that. That's the quote that I know that he said early on. JB808, love it. I didn't have to evacuate. All right. But I got impulsive and went shopping for essentials, wine and vape pens, and got stuck in traffic. Oh. And how long did it take to get home from being stuck in traffic? They said it was a couple hours. Why to watcher? Thanks, Tori. Paulette's story without any proof sounds so random and made up. Oh, no. It's amazingly lucky she found evidence of the abused after the FBI raid. Well, the FBI raid was what saved her. I mean, she was going to prison, and it was like one more thing, and she was going to prison. And then they raided the manor where we lived. We used to live there. We lived on the 5th floor. And I think that's where the guardian's office was. But we had moved out, and some girl called me on the day of the raid, and she goes, Tori? And I go, yeah. And she goes, this is so-and-so, and the FBI is here at the manor, which was it's now Celebrity Center, but it used to be called the Manor Hotel. And she said, they're here. They're all over. And my boyfriend and I want to get married. So could we come over to your house and you'll marry us? I said, okay. So I married a few people, but she was one of them. Excuse me. JB808, you are right up my alley. LOL. Wine and vape for the win. That's good. I'm the opposite. I'm not a wine person. I'm a beer person. I don't really drink that much, but if I'm going to drink, I drink beer. I get really tired if I drink wine. It puts me to sleep. I love all of y'all here. The Magooski fam. Aw, thank you, JB808. We love you too, and we're really happy you're okay. I was going to put a thing out yesterday, but I thought, nah, you're going to be busy. JB808, if the world ever ends, I'm coming to your house. Make it 2. I think the Magooski clan will be there. Back when they had that fake missile launch crisis, I went to the store and bought a basket of buffalo wings and went back home. Isn't it funny how was it the same in Hawaii? I mean, in LA, when we have an earthquake, wherever you go, people are like, okay, where were you at 9:45? You know what I mean? Because we all experience the same thing. And it's just so interesting to see how people come together with something like that. Oh, thank you, love it. The worst color is that puke green. Okie doke. Hi, Smiley. 49ers for life. Question. Were you one of the few OTs that didn't think they had powers? Oh, yeah. Forget it. Because remember, L. Ron Hubbard said to me, handle epilepsy, and then you can come back in the Sea Org. So whether I don't know if you know it or not, but he has a policy that if you're auditing over a present time problem, you won't have any case gain because you're auditing. Like, let's say you're worried about your car getting a ticket, and you're in session and you're going along, but you're not going to really be able to be in session because you're worried about your car getting a ticket. You see what I mean? So for me, I was always trying to fix epilepsy. And guess what? It's a physical condition. It's not going to happen. And because everybody else kept saying, oh, this level will do it, the next level will do it, that kind of thing, I kept going along with it. But I finally realized now they're full of shit. So yeah, I was definitely one of the OTs that didn't think they had powers. I think there's more than you think. It's just a lot of people don't want to say it. I'm with Tori, all the colors. Yeah, I know. I love colors. Professor Kakan, Janice and Mark have been doing series of interviews with Mike Goldstein, who kicked off the 1980 Dianetics Book 1 co-audit resurgent for Diana. Later, after leaving Scientology. Okay. Well, I worked underneath Jeff Hawkins, and we, 4 of us, were responsible for getting it to be number 1. And if I hadn't come up with my idea, it would have never been number 1. Because we did all the radio stations in America, and then the person that was running it said, okay, we're done. We can do self-analysis. So then we went and did interviews with self-analysis. But now we were done with all the radio stations. And she said, we're done. There's nothing else we can do. And I said, I don't think so. Let me think about it. And I went home and I made up these 4 different categories for Dianetics. And I called it the Dianetic, I don't know, it was this Dianetic series. And I called this guy in Tennessee and I said, I think you're going to love this. It's a really popular in America. And he goes, really? What is it? And I said, it's called the Dianetic series. And I gave him all the different titles. And he said, I love it. I'm going to call it L. Ron Hubbard Month. And I said, all right. So I knew, all right, we're in. And she couldn't believe it. And from that, we just did series after series after series for like 2 years. And that really brought it to being number 1. But without that idea, that it wouldn't have happened. I just watched a documentary on cults on Hulu. Okay. I watched the FLDS one and the Children of God. Do you think we'll ever see Scientology on there? Yeah. We've already got the Going Clear thing. Sieglin, thanks, friend. So do you. Oh, she rocks. Oh, that's good. She does. I think everybody here rocks. It took JB808, it took about over an hour to get home. Wow. And what would usually take 10 minutes. I know, that's the thing. It's tricky. We could see it on the news. It looked awful. I got stuck in traffic once, wound up in a cult. Really? Wow. I love that Tori is reaching so many people on TikTok, educating the young ones. I'm trying. It's a lot of work. It is. They don't really know much. I sent you a text with my information. Okay, thank you, Moon and Stars. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. YRB. I think there was com- com- competitive drive between LRH Norman Vincent Peale, a Methodist minister at the time, started a self-help craze around the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. Yeah, I remember that. I think you're right on that. JB808 makes a cute face, no face. Love it. 60 Minutes Australia just re-uploaded a Scientology episode today on YouTube. Really? Like from Scientology or from an ex-Scientologist? That's wild. Professor Kakan, he hooked up with John Galusha, who had been with Hubbard since 1950 and was one of the first supervisors of the St. Hills Special Briefing Course. Wow. Yeah, he was a crazy guy, Hubbard was. I hate that when it happens. All right, and Sophie says, love it. Really, that's awesome. 60 Minutes has done a few stories on Scientology. It's great for mainstream media to talk about. All right, Y2 Watcher. Nothing like a raid to bring the couples together, maybe to ensure that way they can't testify against each other. Are you thinking about the raid that happened with Scientology with Paulette Cooper? No, that was they had done some very illegal things. I mean, the Guardian's office had, and that's why they busted him. It didn't have anything to do with them testifying against each other. No, it was they'd broken into the government. It's the biggest government break-in ever. And that was Scientology. It's like, way to go. I too watch. You're cute. 60 Minutes Australia is so much braver. I know. We always used to say that because, I told you, Dave would always have the latest stuff. And they are. They're just way ahead of us. Janice and Mark's channel is Scientology Peeling the Onion. Yeah, they have some really good stuff. They do. Professor Khan, I saw some information about the son of film director Cecil DeMille. His son was an early whistleblower on Scientology after he was close with L. Ron during the writing of Dianetics. Wow. History. Love it. And braver than our media also. Yeah. Y2 Watcher. Tori, I bet you can still pull an all-nighter. Oh, yeah. Easy. It appears you have the energy to talk all night. I don't know about that, but I am a night owl. I am. I'm not, if you said early morning, forget it. I have to do it sometimes. Like when I used to work, I had to go to bed early and get up early. And I just didn't like it. I wasn't happy. It's something I've done all my life, but I don't like it. I love being a night owl. And that started with my grandfather because he was a doctor. And I would say, if you ever have to go help someone at night, wake me up. And he would. He'd come in and he'd go, come on, get up. If we were visiting, he'd say, Tori, come on, let's go. We're going somewhere. And he'd take me with him. Bless his heart. It was like, those kind of things are so special. It's kind of like it's not much, but it's so special for me. You know what I mean? JB808, Sophie, wow, I didn't know that. I read that Stanley Kubrick's daughter is a big time Scientologist. Wow. Yeah, that one I knew. 49ers for life. Question: why did you want to be OT if you didn't believe you got powers? Isn't that the goal? Okay, my goal for joining Scientology was to become an auditor and help other people. Remember, I originally, like I just mentioned, my grandfather was a doctor. And so that's what I thought. Okay, I'll be a doctor. But now I'm in college. I'd left college, gone to San Francisco, been a hippie, and then now I'm back. My parents put me back in college, and I just think, you know what? And some kids from high school came and gave me a Dianetics book. So I read 3 chapters. That's all. But I thought, you know what? I'm never going to make it through 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, internships. It's just too long. It's too long a runway for me. And I thought I can become an auditor in like a few months. And then I can help people. So that was my goal. That was my goal. A lot of people got into it to have OT powers. I didn't. I sort of felt like I had OT powers from I was studying Buddhism and Taoism and stuff like that. And so I already felt like I had the powers that I needed. I was good on that end. And I think it helped me a lot because I just kept moving on the bridge to total freedom. That all started because I joined the Sea Org. They routed me out because of epilepsy. And L. Ron Hubbard, they tried to charge $100,000 because I broke my CR contract. And I said, look, let's get something straight here. I did not break my contract. You guys did. And if we really need to, I'll take you guys to court because you broke the contract, not me. And I said, you get me a piece of paper and a pencil, and I'm going to write the one man that I know is sane. And I told that to CFI, Center for Inquiry, which is all skeptics. And they all burst out laughing, the whole place. And I never thought of that, but it was funny that I thought L. Ron Hubbard was the one sane man on the planet because my dad had passed away and my grandfather too. So it had to be LRH, right? So I wrote him and said, look, this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. And he wrote back and he said, no, you don't owe $100,000. You have to pay for staff status 1 and 2, which was nothing. And then continue on up the bridge, fix epilepsy, and then we'll see you up the line. So my whole moving up the bridge was to fix epilepsy so I could go back in the Sea Org and be an auditor. That's what I got in there to be. So I was on a different plane than a lot of these people wanting to be OT. It just wasn't my thing. I mean, I did it because I kept thinking, well, maybe this will handle epilepsy. Maybe this will handle it. But it really wasn't my goal. Y2 Watcher, I know Tori can talk all night and so can love it. And I, hey, Professor Kakan, Sophie, John Atak reports that Richard DeMille wrote Science of Survival. Really? From Hubbard's notes? That book I hate because it really says some awful things about people with neurological illnesses, which is me. And I don't agree with it, so I don't like it. There you go. Anyway, hi from Wales, UK. All right. Hey, X78. I can't say the beginning of it. You're an inspiration. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming, and please subscribe. And everybody who hasn't, if you are here, please hit the like button. And Professor, yes, he was a writer, and I figured he ghost wrote for L. Ron Hubbard. He also was an early critic of Carlos Castaneda. Oh. Hi, June. Hi, Tori and everyone. Hi. And JB808. Oh, Tori, I just saw your YouTube title. Thank you for checking in on us. I know. I was like, I got to see this guy and make sure he's okay. So I'm really, really happy that you're here and you're fine, and Sophie's fine, and I'm hoping Dave is too. I think they are, because they didn't say anything about. They just said on the news it may hit Australia, so it's a kind of a maybe. So Sophie and Lovett are the moderators here, June. I don't know if you knew that or not. 60 Minutes Australia has done a lot of episodes. I know. I forget the guy's name. He's one of the journalists there, but I really love him. And I had made a big sign about how great he was, and I had it in my trunk, and he showed up. And I said, hey, you know what? He was doing a documentary. And I said, you know what? I've got something that you might like. And I got it out, and it's in the documentary because I showed it to him. Isn't that funny? He's a really great guy. I forget his name. I'm bad with names, you know that. Are there people who blew, but their partner still in Scientology will not divorce so that Scientology still can use the money? No, they kind of canceled that many years ago. They used to have it where you could have one person in, one person out. But then years ago, they went, no. You have to be married to somebody that's in the Church of Scientology. Unless they've changed it, but that's the way it was for a long time. I'm sending this via carrier pigeon. It's barren on the range. Please send water nuggets. You're out on the range? JB808. Man, I'm so glad for YouTube. Me too. 60 Minutes Australia runs circles around America. Yeah, it does. It really does. Great question. Not anymore. It is a good question, but it's not. They kind of canceled it a long time ago. And now you have to both be in. Or both leave. Before I found anti-Scientology on YouTube, all I had learned was mainly from 60 Minutes. Wow. Yeah, and they're good. They are. No, Justice, that wasn't stupid. No. Aw, thank you, Sophie. She said, JB808, she's our angel. And you guys are mine. Okay, love it says, Justin, I don't think so. I'd love to know the answer. It is something they would do. No, I just told you the answer. If you're talking about the marriage thing, you have to both be in or out. I'm positive that that's still the way it is. Justice, not a stupid question at all. Only stupid people don't ask questions. Or stupid people say this is stupid, and it isn't. You know, about you, not you. But, you know, they go, oh, that's really stupid. You know, it's like, look in the mirror. Moon and stars. I think I have mentioned this here before, but my father was PD in Fullerton. PD is what? When he moved to Hollywood in 1972, he was gifted the Dionysus book for Christmas. They recruited police hard. Oh, he was in the police department. Oh, yeah. Wow. And did he get recruited? Moon and stars? I forget. If you said, I remember you kind of mentioning it, but I forget if he got in. JB808, I read that Hubbard was trying to recruit Gloria Swanson from Sunset Boulevard into Scientology. I wonder if that was through his friendship with C.B. DeMills. Probably. I did not know about Kubrick's daughter. At this point, who's not been in? Sophie, after I sent in that comment, I looked up on Google and apparently she's left the cult. All right, good. Billy Kahn in early 1970s caused a PR flap. Is this your dad? Calling a cop a pig. He had some serious amends to make. I think he later worked in the Guardian's office. Billy Kahn was related to you guys or not? Sophie, JB808, that's good. I mean, I've always suspected that Elron didn't write everything. Hardly. I told you my friends did research for 10 years, and they took every major piece of tech and every one of them all the way back to the source. And they all had earlier beginnings. Someone else had written it. Every single one. Either philosophy, an author, a writer. They were all, it was amazing. It was really amazing. 2 of them worked on it for 10 years. Did you see that Aaron got arrested? Yep, we did. Steve Kineen is in Australia. That's awesome, Tori. Yeah, he's not the one I'm thinking of, though. There's another guy. I just can't remember his name. But he's one of the main journalists there. Professor Kakan. JB, have not heard any connection by CBD to Hubbard, Richard DeMille to Gloria Swanson makes sense. Sophie, I'd love to see the clip of Tori from 60 Minutes. Are you talking about John Sweeney? John Sweeney, that's who it is. Well, no, John Sweeney's in England. No, John Sweeney's in England, I think, right? Yeah, because we went to London and we met with John Sweeney there. And he showed me his editing room and everything. So that's not, he's BBC, but I'm sure I saw his document on 60 Minutes. No, he was a friend of mine and I really like him. He's really good too. But no, it's somebody else. It's a different guy that's actually from Australia. And Sweeney's from London. Afila. Did you know Marion Powell, who passed away recently? I didn't. I'd heard her name recently, but only recently. And no, I didn't know her. I know that Robert Von Young ghost wrote for the Mission Earth. He was a very good friend of mine after I left. He called me every night for weeks and weeks. He was really worried that I was going to go back into Scientology. And I finally said, Von, I want you to understand something. Saying to me, with all that I've gone through and finally got out, that I might go back into Scientology is the same as saying to someone who got out of a concentration camp, we're worried you're going to go back in. It's not going to happen. Not now, not ever. And from then he was cool. JB808, Afila, was she related to Karen Powell? I don't know. 49ers for life. Question. Do you need to be OT to be an auditor? No. I train people to be Dianetic auditors in a free seminar that I used to travel around and teach people how to become auditors. And the interesting thing is a bunch of them figured out they could co-audit, like you audit me, I audit you, and they went clear per them. And they started sending it in as a success story, and they canceled the whole program. It's like, no, wait a minute. You're going clear for free? No. That was it. But no, you don't have to be OT to be an auditor at all. Not at all. Oh, okay. Is Richard Cecil's son, Professor Khan? I was just connecting the dots. Apparently sister-in-law. Okay. Yeah, he went in and recruited my cousin. Dad left cousin was never heard from again. He left your cousin and you never heard of him again? Moon and Stars? He went in and recruited my cousin. Okay, so your dad joined up and recruited your cousin. And then your dad left the cousin and was never heard from again. Wow. Interesting. Moon, you don't have to answer, but did your dad know Lamont Johnson? I did. I knew Lamont. Lamont had Fullerton connections. That's where my son went to school. University of California, Fullerton. I think it was Cal State Fullerton. I think it was Cal State Fullerton. Yeah. Yeah. Brian Seymour, that's him. That is him. Thank you. Thank you for remembering who that was. Who is that? Afila. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to put that in my book because I've been trying to remember his name for a while. Brian Seymour. Yeah, he's really great. I forget what my sign said, but it was something like, Brian Seymour, we love you. Because, he'd done so much and way ahead of Scientology or the media here. They were doing nothing. And he was like, we'd wait for Dave to come on because he would give us the update from Brian. So I finally made this protest sign, Brian Seymour from Australia, we love you. And then he came over to do the documentary, and I said, "Oh my God, I've got a sign in my trunk," and I brought it out, and he goes, "I got to take a picture of it," Yeah, John Sweeney's UK, but he's great too. Bunker and I met with him when Anonymous flew us over there, and we had fun with him. Oh God, he's a great guy. Moon and Stars Professor Streets LA has done a story about it. My father's partner in FPD was a son that is still there. Long story, but yes. Ooh, that sounds cool. Sieglin, Tori, your hair looks exceptionally beautiful. Wow, thank you. It's the funniest thing. Spanky always says the same thing. This is like the night before I have to wash it. So it's really very filthy. But she always says, God, your hair looks really great tonight. And we always crack up because she goes, is tonight the night? And I go, it is. It's just very funny. So thank you. You have that in common with her. But I appreciate it. I know it kind of looks good on the camera. It actually is fine. It's just, I get itchy. That's what happens because I got to wash it. Wash. Professor, my father's partner. Wait, Professor, my father's partner. Okay. Sam is now in LAPD. Oh, his son is now in LAPD. Okay. Noon. I knew Lamont. So did Tori. Yep. I knew him. I did. He was cool. Is he still alive? See, that's the thing. I never know who's alive, who isn't. Hi, Ed. Welcome. Tori, John Sweetie is English, yeah, and works for the BBC. But England also has 60 Minutes. And I get confused. We have Australia 60 Minutes, English 60 Minutes, and Kiwi 60 Minutes. Wow, yeah, that's a lot of 60 Minutes. But that's good to know. We can start watching that because ours has gotten all screwed up with Trump. Moon, I knew Lamont in 1976. Tori knew him too. Yeah. Yep. Maybe Tori knew my dad too. That's true. I could have. I could have. I don't know your dad's name, but you can you can send it to me because I might know him. I might have. I might have been on course with him and stuff. I'm kind of bad with names, but some people like Lamont for sure. I mean, how can you forget him? You can't. Scientology is so blatant about how greedy they are, but it somehow eludes the members. I know, isn't it? It's beyond my comprehension that these people that I know, like my ex-husband, Al Rabisi, Vonnie Rabisi, Gabe Rabisi, Yachty, just like all these people are staying in there when they know it's just a bunch of shit now. I just don't get it. I really don't. I mean, I got it when in the early days when it seemed, and Hubbard was doing his research, and we all were like, okay, we were investing in that, right? Thinking it was going to get better and better and better. But now it's over. The party's over. They've gotten up to OT8. None of them had any wins. It's a big mess. Miscavige changed the definition, or somebody did change the definition of FN. And what is that about? So all of LRH's auditing was wrong, right? That's what I said to my flag. I said, come on. So all of LRH's auditing was wrong. That's what you're saying to me. And she said, you have to go down to the course room and watch the video and then redo the metering course. So part of it was drilling an FN. What is an FN? But they changed the definition. So people would say to me, could you do the FN thing with me? And I said, not me. If you need an FN, don't drill it with me because it's not going to happen. Scientology, yeah, okay. Justice, can child welfare services do anything when they know a child wants nothing to do with Scientology? I don't think so, Justice, because of the our Constitution, which is religious freedom, and they're protected by that. That's why Scientology so much is changing everything to religious, because the more religious they are, the more protection they have. At least they think. I still think it's going to pop open, but. Question, did you ever get any of your friends to join Scientology? No. I never got anybody to join Scientology. It wasn't my thing. I would educate people about it, and I would say I was one of the people that we would be somewhere and they'd say, God, we really like you. And I'd say, thank you. We're Scientologists. And they'd go, really? Because they never met a Scientologist. And I would get back in the car with a friend and they'd say, I can't believe you told them we're Scientologists. And I'd say, look, if everyone in Los Angeles told their neighbors and their friends and their, people they know that they're Scientologists, we wouldn't have the awful PR that we have. It's because no one will say anything. So they don't have any example of, I don't know, I go to this doctor and I really like him and he's a Scientologist. See? There you go. That would make a difference, but they won't say a word. Okay, Sophie, love it. Guess it's the same thing as the rich mega churches, private jets and mansions, all paid for by donations from the congregation. Makes me sick. Yeah. Great point. Sieglin, Justice. I am not a lawyer, but I think that the authorities might shy away from anything Scientology because of the separation of church and state. Right. 49ers, sadly, I found my mother's ruin and let her know Scientology could help her. Oh. She was the last in the family to get it. Aw. Isn't it sad? Because you were trying to help her. You know what I mean? You really were. And did it help her at all or not? Were you ever Leo? Were you ever Leo? I mean, like Cancer Leo, like it must be something. It must mean something else. What does it mean? Because whatever your astrological sign is what it is. It isn't like you ever were and now you're not. So what does that mean? Were you ever Leo? Our media is total propaganda thanks to our previous leader who now lives in the U.S. Just saw the meteor. Everyone make a wish. Right. I like that. Thank you, love it. I love that. Wow, that's cool that you saw it. Lamont died of a heart disease in 1999 at the age of 58 in Austin. Wow. I think I remember hearing that he passed away, but so young. 58. God. That's too bad. Afila. I'm Australian. All right. I might not have all the answers, but you can ask me Aussie-based questions. All right. I think we just got the one, which was Brian Seymour. That one I needed. Professor Kakan. Wait just 1 second. Oh, I think that was you were you the one that gave me his name? Brian Seymour? I really appreciate it. Leo. You got me on that acronym. Context? Yeah. Can you kind of fill us in on? I don't get it. Professor Kakan gets it. Sophie, I agree. The Catholic Church could stop world hunger. Hi, Cinderella. They really need their religious exemption revoked. Yeah. They don't fit the criteria in so many places. Unfortunately, here in New Zealand, apparently they do. Now it's tricky. Cinderella. Good morning, lovely Tory mods and chatters. Greetings from Ireland. All right, the Irish Mart. Hello. Thank you for coming by. Love it. The Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, right? I was born and raised in the church. Oh, I don't believe in organized religion anymore. Me neither. It's like a pyramid scheme, exactly. I feel the same. Leo means law enforcement officer. Oh, thank you, Moon and Stars. That's a good one. Leo, law enforcement officer. Wow. I don't think I would have ever gotten that. I really don't. Law enforcement officer. There you go. Meteor shower just started. Ooh, it peaks on August 12th. Oh, good. Well, maybe I can go out in the desert or something and see it. Exactly. All these so-called churches would have Jesus turning in his graves. They do little to nothing to help people. Hoarding wealth and worshiping idols and hurting God's children. Yeah. Same with, I always say, because I was raised, my parents were Republicans, but they were like more Democrat now than the Republicans are. They weren't greedy. My dad helped everybody on the block. My mom helped people in the community. They were just really cool people. Aww. Hi, love it, Sophie and Afila. Irish Smart, top of the morning to you. Yeah, hi, Irish Smart. I don't know how to put little hearts on there, but I would if I could. Professor Kakan, I saw more last night, but I wasn't modding, so was looking up more consistently. I commented on Lamont here about 2 weeks ago. Oh, cool. Good to see you, Cinderella. JB808. Cinderella, good you attained the freedom from that system. Psh, truly. At my local mall, the JWs have a booth. I think that shouldn't be allowed. I don't either, but it's worse if it's in a school, in my opinion. Moon, not LEO anymore. Law enforcement officers. Okay. Ah, oops. My mother and grandmother are rolling in their graves because I spoke the truth. Paul. Late again from Agadir, 9 a.m. on the way to Suki. Had before it gets too hot to go out food shopping. Yeah, that's definitely something you have to keep in mind because if it gets too hot, then everything melts. I go at midnight. That's what I do. That handles it completely. There's only like 3 people in the store. It's our own store, and it's not hot. And because I'm a night owl, it works. All right, now I gotta go pretty soon. My eyes are hurting. The Democrats have become so radical. I could no longer support that party, and I'm not a Republican. Yeah, I know everybody's got that problem. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Moon and Stars, Professor Gotcha was going to ask if you knew some of them from 72 to 82. Have a family member that was in the Guardian's office. Wow. Cinderella, I'm glad you are speaking the truth. So much indoctrination in this world, and it's difficult to go against families' belief systems. Yeah, good for you. That is wild that they have a booth. I knew Chief Gates by watching him on TV news. That's all. All right, kids. Well, I'm going to say goodnight unless somebody has something that they want to say. Thank you all for coming. JB808, I'm very happy you're okay. Sophie, and well, all of you, I'm happy we're all okay. And let's just hope, things get better. I refuse to claim a party. LOL. I vote for who I want. There you go. All right, kids. Well, anyway, thank you for coming by. Tonight is Wednesday night, so it'll probably be Friday night. We'll do something, one way or the other. Good night, beautiful Tori. Good night, beautiful Sophie. And good night, Eric. Say hi to your parents for me. Have an amazing night and day all. Yeah, you guys too. Good night, all. I hope your wishes come true. Yeah, thank you, love it. That was fantastic. How fun. Night, Tori. Will you make sure you got my text? I will. I will check right now. Good night and night chat. Thank you all for supporting Tori. And don't forget to like. Yeah. Okay. And JB808, good night all. Thank you, Tori. Love it. And I think she said, what did he say? And Sophie. Yeah. All right. And Seagland, thank you. Thank you once again for being here for us, Tori. And thank you, mods and chatters. A great crowd. I know, it really is a good crowd. I really thank all of you for being here. We have a good time. We do. We have a good time together. Good night. And have a wonderful day tomorrow. All right, that's it. I'm going to say, yeah, subscribe and take care out there. Here you go. Peace out. And I love you guys. And I'll hopefully see you Friday. All right. Cheers.